Hey there guys, what's going on? Today I wanted to talk about a current issue with YouTube, and it's something that I'm sure many other channels have experienced and are experiencing right now. And by the title and the thumbnail, I guess you know that I'm already talking about demonetization. But if you're not aware, YouTube has recently, within probably the last 6 to 12 months or so I would say, begun removing monetization from videos, not just on my channel, but most channels around. Content is being described as not suitable for most advertisers, and not suitable for most advertisers is being described as advertisers avoid placing ads on videos that don't align with their brand. For example, they may choose not to advertise on content that's sexually suggestive, includes bad language, or is considered controversial. And I can understand both sides of the story. I can understand advertisers not wanting to put their ads on, as they describe it, sexually suggestive, includes bad language, or is considered controversial. Honestly, that is completely reasonable. Honestly, that's more than understandable. And as a content creator, you look at that and say, yeah, that's a reasonable request. Seriously, if I was running a company, I wouldn't want my product being advertised on something that was really inappropriate. I don't think that's unreasonable, and I don't think anyone else should think that's unreasonable either. But, and this is a huge but, YouTube is, I would describe it as being overzealous, to put it kindly. This isn't the view shared by everyone, but as an Australian, swearing and inappropriate language, as it's described, is part of humour, part of personality, and literally, to us, basically a way of life. Australians are very casual, and everyone loves a good swearing session from time to time. Removing advertisements from a video is a form of censorship. Plain and simple, censorship for something that is deemed slightly inappropriate isn't really okay. Everyone knows this by now. People are able to live through making YouTube videos. People are able to make a living, and they've earned millions of dollars through their huge audiences based around their style of comedy. And the fact that they may contain sexually suggestive comments or swearing is just as part of it. It seems hardly fair that the decision to move advertisement from YouTube videos is anywhere near acceptable in those specific terms, for fear of advertisers not wanting to associate their brand with things of an inappropriate nature. That's unfortunately the way it is. And every day you see advertising on TV put around shows and in between shows that are far more inappropriate than someone just saying fuck or shit. But as I already said, I do completely understand that YouTube wants to be the place for safe and appropriate content. But by demonetizing videos, you're potentially ruining people's livelihood. However, you do have the option, and this is sort of where it gets a little bit interesting, you do have the option to request a manual review of your video or videos that have been flagged for demonetization. This, however, apparently only applies to videos that have, and I quote, received 1,000 views in the last 7 days, which 95% of the videos on my channel, as you might be aware, don't even get to 100 views in 7 days, let alone months. So apparently I don't, and most smaller channels don't deserve to have their content reviewed by what I assume it to be is an actual YouTube employee who goes around watching the videos that get manually requested. So I imagine that someone does actually go around and do it, rather than the overzealous censorship bot. But here's the seemingly random nature of this process. Like, I've been waiting, or I've requested a manual review for all the videos that were flagged. Most of them, and some of them are still waiting for review, which I understand. It's going to take time for that process. But for some inexplicable reason, several of my videos have flipped between monetization, demonetization, and back and forth, like multiple times. They've been flagged initially, I've requested a review, and upon requesting the review, they've basically instantly gone back to being monetized. And there wasn't anything I really did in between then apart from push the button. I didn't get notified about it, I didn't get an email or anything like that, so I'm not really 100% sure what's going on with that. And some of them have actually been reviewed. Like, honestly, some of them, I've received a couple of emails from YouTube telling me that they've reviewed the video in question and that it was acceptable. So why does it take someone to actually look at the video rather than having an actually working system? Just because someone says fuck or shit doesn't mean that something is deemed completely inappropriate. Honestly, and you can probably imagine this, I make barely any money from YouTube, and this isn't really surprising. We're a small channel. We're trying to do our best, and we're growing relatively slowly. So that's okay. I do make about $1 or $2 a month, depending on what videos go up in each particular month. But I'm not really doing this for the money, but that doesn't stop it from upsetting me when my content is deemed as inappropriate, because someday this might actually make me some money, and maybe by then the system designed to keep YouTube safe will actually function correctly. But seriously though, this system isn't currently okay. The manual request system shouldn't just be someone or for people that have received 1,000 views in the last 7 days, because I know of channels with huge backlogs of videos that have been demonetized, but before they got flagged, they were a serious source of income because they were hour-long videos about different stories, about people telling different stories and stuff like that. So people would just start and want to listen to the whole thing, which was an hour long, and that's a serious chunk of change, serious watch time that goes into those old videos. But not everyone who comes to that channel is going to watch all of that video. But the person who is watching a full hour of content, full multiple hours of content. So having those back catalogs that are deemed inappropriate be demonetized, that's seriously hurting people's livelihood. Like, honestly, it's really, really unacceptable, because maybe they do contain swearing, which most of them did, and they may have contained sexually inappropriate things, but that's part of comedy. You don't see comedy shows or comedians be censored or flagged or deemed as inappropriate for making a couple of suggestive or sexually suggestive comments or swearing throughout their entire act. He's deemed as, hey, that guy's really funny because he crafts his work, and you laugh when he swears and you laugh when he makes suggestive comments because it's funny. Like, that's part of humor. But yeah, obviously from what I can understand, the system was designed to stop advertisers from having their products show up on videos that were contained extremism or videos of a terrorism nature. At least I half remember reading that from somewhere, and I completely understand that. Obviously, you wouldn't want your product advertised on something that was literally part of harming people. But to remove money from videos with a bit of swearing is just completely ham-fisted, and it's ridiculously inappropriate. So I was taking a look back at some of my videos that got flagged. The videos that confused me the most were the no video videos, where I informed you guys that I was going to be away or I was sick, and or the text-to-speech program that I used swore twice in this particular video from what I remember. But seriously, if you think people are going to be offended by a bot or me in this example saying fuck or motherfucker, well, you're probably not going to enjoy my videos anyway. So, I mean, that's part of the deal, really. So hopefully through videos like this, letting know on YouTube that this isn't really okay. Like, systems like this isn't okay at all. In fact, they're literally driving people to other websites and other platforms like Twitch, because you're not censored there. You basically just can't get your tits out and flash people and do nude stuff like that. It's not like you can't swear. It's not like you can't make jokes and stuff like that. So most of the time, swearing is just part of people's vocabulary. It's part of the way they talk, part of the way they communicate to people, part of the way they entertain people. So tune the YouTube system, or you'll basically have hardly any content creators that people want to watch, and just a boring bunch of soulless drones making endless money for you. Anyway, this has been Luke from Less Than Average Gaming, and I hope you guys have an above average day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!